Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. So we are going to go straight to the program. Before then, I want you to make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel in case if you are new. I'm sorry you may not have access to my picture or video, my image in this particular video because of where I'm recording it from, and I hope you understand. I just want to give you update on what I noticed from Sheikh Gumi and his boys in the southeast of Biafra land, or some people say southeast of Nigeria, but you know what I'm talking about. Looking at the pictures on your screen now, you understand what I'm talking about. I think the names here need to be mentioned. Yes, you have Jovika, you have Asal Dokubo, then you have Udele, and of course the Ikenga Uruago, whom some people prefer to call upon to Uruago. So we are going to connect a few things because Shegumi says something in his recent interview. And based on what we already know and the activities of these guys that I just mentioned now, you can connect the dots. Because there's double standard I noticed from Shegumi's call for, dialogue and, whatever, peace, embrace peace and all that. Nobody's against peace, but there's a trick that is behind his call for all those things. So please make sure you like the video, like I said, and share it to many platforms of your choice. If you are new to this platform, I don't think it's good for you to just watch without subscribing. As you know, we are doing all you can here to build a platform that will help us to connect everybody together. We help us to say the truth, and that's why we often share our links. We share links to each time we come live for you to have your own say. All right. So please make sure you bear with me on this one because recently Shegumi says something about IPB that if Mazen Namarikano can adjust his wish and he don't mind to advocate for his release and all that. And he said again that IPB should lay down their arms and embrace peace. That he will be a kind of a voice for them to embrace peace and accept one Nigeria and all that. First and first, the reason why Shegumi is calling for you to, accept, to embrace peace and accept Nigeria and all that is because for them to conquer you, they need you to be together. That's number one. Number two, Shegumi said that you cannot defeat his brothers in the bush with kinetic approach. Kinetic approach is show of force. Like when Nigerian government said that, Nigerian army said that they are carrying out Operation Python Dance, Operation Crocodile Smile in eastern part of Nigeria, of course, which is Biafra land. And they did it, which is, of course, kinetic. That is non-kinetic. It's actually kinetic in a very dangerous style. Disappearance of people started from that moment because they want to make sure that they show you that they have strength, they have this, they have that. Then in when the Arewa group, what they call them, Metiala, when they put bounty on Mazda Americano, and Biafrans, of course, our Igbo people, took advantage of that and collected the money. And of course, Mazagano, ended up in the hands of Metiala. Now, everything that happened then did not just stop this Northerners from pushing because they want to make sure that they play on your intelligence while they deal with you and render you useless. All right. The man is calling for his brother to, for government of Nigeria to pardon his brothers in the bush, discouraging them that you cannot win, saying to the Nigerian government you cannot win the war. There's no, remember you buy the leaders of Boko Haram. So what have become of you? Have you actually had peace since then? Yeah, you keep on spending money, thinking that that's going to stop, that it won't stop, that you have to dialogue. And that dialogue is for them now to give Nigerian government condition, of course, that will end up, helping them to push for final push, which is to conquer you and take over everywhere. All right. Then he turned to eastern part and said that Igbos should, use their, governors should employ their youth. Listen, against IPOB, and those flavors embrace that, and they begin to employ people to work against the other people. But what they don't ask themselves, these Eastern governors and politicians did not ask themselves is, why are they not using that tactics in the North? Why are they not recruiting Northerners against banditry, against all these Boko Haram, all these terrorists? They don't use that. They don't use that approach. But Sheikh Gumi is here. They're advising you to use it in the southeast. Anyway, you may not understand what I'm saying. I think let me just play this video. Then that may help you to understand what the video is all about. Please don't forget to like the video and share it to many platforms of your choice. Here is a post from this our brother where Sheikh Gumi gave his own this is his recent interview. But before that, let's read the comment that comes with the video from this guy called Chicks. If IPOB lay down arms and negotiates, I will support them. The military force against Boko Haram and bandits has not worked. It only worsened things, as buying Boko Haram leader made them stronger. Sheikh Gumi called for dialogue with bandits in Nigeria, but he called for IPOB to lay down their arms and all that. But did you hear him saying bandits should lay down their arms? No. And why is it that they are not using that tactics he suggested for governors in the East to use, which they have finally used? But guess what? The Biafra movement is ideology. If you like, use everybody. We are going to make it more chaos. Now, speaking of why bandits and Boko Haram keep on growing white jaw and all that, it's not because military are not doing what they can do about it. But the military themselves and those who are instructing military are the one controlling the banditry. That's why you cannot win it. It's not about using kinetic or not kinetic. But in the issue of Biafra movement, like IPOB, it is totally different. That's ideology. Boko Haram, you may say their own is ideology, but they are pure terrorists. Terrorism is different from freedom fighters or agitators. They are not the same. But Sheikh Gumi don't want you to understand it is that way, so that you are not going to end up destroying their plan, because he want to water grant to make their people, to make that his boys' job to be very, very easy. Speaking of those they employ to counter this movement or to attack people in the eastern part. In fact, I'm going to speak on that after the video so that you understand everything. Let's just listen to what he said here, okay?
Well, so the federal government has repeatedly always said they don't pay ransom, they don't negotiate, and in any way
excuse me,
with bandits.
Okay.
Do you feel like these statements, people are getting it mixed up with the opportunity to want to involve violence when doing like this banditry?
See, when government speaks regarding this, they look at the audience it's speaking to. This we don't speak with terrorists, we don't speak with the violent rebels. Typically, it starts from America, but America is the first one that dialogue with them because there is any interest or benefit. We have seen them dialogue with Taliban, Israel, and Hamas in dialogue all over the world. IRA and United Kingdom were in dialogue. They had a war for a long time, and terrorism took bombs in London and there. They dialogue. So if dialogue can bring peace, we are men of peace, we want peace. Even IPOB, which wants secession, if we are ready to put down their arms, come to the round table and discuss even secession, I'm ready, I will support them. What we don't want is violence. So when government say don't do something is different. When government say is going to do something, it may not do it. When it says it doesn't do something, it may be doing it. Now people have this kind of mistrust, not only Nigerian government, all over government, right? You have a mistrust. But what they say, so they do. But essentially, what we are talking about is what is the way out of this quagmire of insecurity? There's a way out. Let intellectuals come in. Let's bring criminologists from prestigious institutions. Let's put everything to one table and see the way out. What the experts are saying now in dealing with what we have in Nigeria, 75% of it should be non-kinetic. It was an issue where, look at the road network, terribly bad. Look at electricity. I've just seen how much solar system, solar panels we have over the studios, you know. The electricity is erratic and very expensive. Don't talk about healthcare. Anybody who has anything, if he's sick, our rich men, even with malaria, they go abroad. Don't talk about education. So with this kind of situation, don't talk about garbage everywhere. So what is working here? So in this kind of situation, when nothing is working, is it pumping trillions and trillions of naira on defense? Is that the priority? Or spending our money in educating the society, bringing amenities close to the society? It will have a big impact in trying to calm the insecurity. That's the money used elsewhere. This is what we are saying. This is what we are telling the government. Use the money elsewhere. But if you keep giving the military, one governor was saying, or one opposition leader, before he became a governor, was saying, he found that the choicest houses in Abuja are owned by military officers. Why do they get not the money for? That's the money for security. So we want to break the cycle of that, this vicious over-dependence on kinetic approach, which doesn't work. If you give them money, they go and buy houses. They go abroad. Why don't you use that money to alleviate the suffering of the people? Build good roads for them, build good schools for them, engage them, feed them, improve agriculture. That's the money. Say 3 years, you can Google it and see how much Nigeria is spending on this.
This guy is pretending.
So
Agriculture, what? Excuse me, just hold on. Agriculture, why your boys will be the ones slaughtering people in the farmland. You know, he just want to deceive people to push your mind away. So you start seeing him as a good man. Ask him, why is it that they deported him from Saudi Arabia? What was his offense? And why is it that he can't travel back there? Have you asked this kind of question? Because of terrorism issue. Listen.
Starts, attacking this banditry through violence. Being that the system does not work, they won't really achieve, the good results.
One, we have to see the cause of the banditry itself. Violence bred banditry, and violence cannot cure it. How do you know that violence bred it? Because for us, as a medical doctor, like something about psyche is that whoever.
He said as a medical doctor. Is he a medical doctor? Please, some of you that may know him very well, is he a medical doctor? He said as a medical doctor. Anyway, I don't know. Listen.
Comes to you with a problem. Anybody who comes with you try to diagnose him. First, you want to see whether it's an organic disease or psychological. What I mean by organic, is he having malaria? Is he having typhoid? Does he have a fracture? When the hospital is go ahead and take him. If he has a psychological problem, you can do some psychotherapy for him, or with the psychiatrist, if you take him to the psychiatric hospital again. But if a problem comes to you, try to analyze and dissect it and see what is the cause. Based on that, you apply your medication. So now we are faced with banditry, or sorry, from 2009 today, 2009 to date. 2009, it started with Boko Haram. Boko Haram were kidnapping people when their leaders were summarily killed without cause to justice. They were killed on camera, and they took out. Since 2009 to date, it's only spreading, despite the amount of money we spend on kinetic approach. So you want to suppress a problem caused by violence created by the state, because the state that killed the Boko Haram leaders. It will not work. I have seen in my Facebook, posted one time, that is in 2013, in Maiduguri, whereby Boko Haram suspects, young Al-Majri, just young Al-Majri, were lined up, maybe about 50 or old, for the civilian JTF and some military. It's there in my Facebook now. Maybe I will give you so that you put on this film. They were asked to slaughter themselves and bury themselves. Al-Mahdi during Jonathan's time. So what do you expect those who escaped? They will take up arms. So we're trying to cure a problem caused by violence with violence. No, it will never work like that. We have to have it. Then one thing again, now 16 years we have been fighting them, 16 years without any result. Recently they killed our soldiers, recently. So why don't we try another approach? Can you imagine a former head of state, through intelligence, was able to sit down with the leaders of Boko Haram? He's a former head of state. He sat down with them. He told me himself, like when he met them, they said, yes, they are ready for peace talk, but it has to be in another country. Then he told them, no, I'm a former head of state of a country. How can I go to another country talking with you people? It has to be in Nigeria. So when they saw his insistence, they said, okay, let it be in Nigeria. They gave him his condition. Hostilities should stop, go to 7 days, and they are ready to discuss with government and see how it can be resolved. This head of state went to the current house, that was the head of the president then, spoke with him, said, I'm able to trace Boko Haram and they are ready to put down their arms on the condition that the government should come and have a peace talk with them. What was that head of state told him? That government will not negotiate. So we understand that also foreign interest, that they didn't start it, but you see they always capitalize. In medicine, we know.
Now the question is, how did he know the conversation if he's not the one, piloting the whole talk? Like he's behind telling his boys what to say. I'm just saying because I wonder why he's not even in Nigerian intelligence unit, and how is it that this guy have access to all those things that he's talking about? The reply, the thing, the intent, and everything, and meaning that the current president then refused to dialogue after former head of state, former president tried to negotiate, and of course they got the response from the former president that the current president said no, we cannot negotiate with terrorists, and that provoked them, Gumi's boys, and they intensified the attack. That's what they're trying to tell you here. But everything just brought to what I told you initially, that as long as they have their people in the government, you cannot defeat them. So he saw his 50% right and 50% wrong. To defeat Boko Haram and terrorists, is by making sure that anybody that is connected to them is not holding any post in the government. As long as they allow them to be part of fact, they are the one dictating everything. Forget it. You're wasting your money. And at the end of if they're not willing to do that, then you leave the country. Separate and let them just be the one terrorizing themselves. Anyway, hear this.
How you can capitalize. You know, when you talk about AIDS, HIV infection, the viral infection, it doesn't kill somebody, but it destroyed the immunity. So what usually kills people?
All right. So I told you that I will say something after this, right? Good. I believe you have heard everything he said. Now, speaking of those in the picture that volunteer themselves to work against the people, their own people, especially Igbos. These people chose to buy the idea of what Gumi told Southeast politicians to employ people, to recruit people, and use them against their own people. Have they asked Gumi why are they not using the same tactics in the north? No. That tactics cannot be used in the north. Why? Because they don't want to solve the insecurity in the north. But they are the one advising you on how to use your own people to attack your people. Because they know that's the only way to defeat Igbo man. That's the only way. And Igbo people, genuine people, the real Igbo people who actually have the interest of Igbo people, they have another tactics, another way to stop that kind of idea or that kind of style they're using against our people. Like people like Ike Guru, like all these guys, all these Gumi boys, Jovik of this world, you don't allow them to take advantage of you to destabilize your peace and your land in the name of fighting what I don't know. A country that if you put on any army camouflage, if they see you, they will punish you mercilessly. They equipped Udele, and Udele dress in military uniform, parading and working with them. Just because it must be just because it's a Igbo land. Do you understand? Anyway, I know that time will come when the activities cannot hold in our land. That's not the fact. Because the way they're going, people are very, very angry about the activities. Only those mushrooms, people who don't understand what is going on, the food that Nigerian is cooking for Igbos. Those ones are the one, celebrating Udele and all that. It's laughable anyway. But time will tell, like I always say, it's not something that anybody will stop or anybody will can predict. But a lot is going on, and the area we understand it is better for us. Please make sure that if you don't let me know what you think about it. What is your take about Gumi's agenda and those his boys in the South? Is what do you suggest that should be their fate? All right, let me hear from you, and God bless you. Take care of yourself. Bye bye for now. Please don't forget to like I said. God bless you.